Okay, so the topic, should Christians go to war? And by the research that I've done, the quick answer would be no. Pretty, I guess, straightforward. We are not to take up the sword and, go out and kill people that are made in the image of God. Um, but it's and again, if you look on history, and they have a debate. I'm just listening to a debate here, and the only ones that I really saw doing the right things in regards of the Second World War is really the Anabaptists. And I've seen a story from Germany and a story from the U.S. And the story from the U.S. was, I think they were Mennonites or something. They were Anabaptists of some kind. I think it was the Mennonites. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, these Anabaptists was taken by the military, and these people did not want to take up, they didn't want to go to war and all that. Now they were killed. If I remember correctly, they froze to death. But it made an impact, so the U.S. military did not want to do that again. So that's so even if they died, they did it. I think they did the right thing because it stopped the U.S. government for forcing them to go to war and kill other people. It's the Christians are not to go out and kill people. We are to use the sword of the mouth in regards to the truth, to tell people the truth. We're not to take up the sword of the hand and go and slaughter people. Now, so there was a story from Germany as well, and he was an Anabaptist as well. I can't remember which nominations of Anabaptist. Although he survived, they were fixing, Germans and all that, and he came to the place and all that, and he was, that's a different, he was told that he was the last standing. He didn't go up when his name was told, and he was then the last that stood there, and he was then told by the German soldier, we don't need your kinds here, or whatever, something like that. And he ended up getting a paper in regards of that he didn't need to enlist. I can't remember, it's sometimes, so in regards to details and all that, my memory might not be, but I'm trying the best that I can. But in any case, that's really, that's where I see that they did the right thing. Then this guy in this lecture, it's from the webpage of Radical Reformation, and two of the guys that is in this debate, I love those, one of them was a former soldier, and his wife was a soldier and all that. And they have a free lecture in regards of the Anabaptist, 20 hours or 30 hours, I can't remember. But, a good amount of information going through a lot of the different, things. And the other guy is also someone I've heard in regards, he's what do you call it, an advocate or something like that. He's one of these, going through, and he's read all the, so he has these series of what did the early Christians really believe and so forward. And there is some pretty good ones from him on that as well. So then of course other in regards of, I think actually the Continual Church of God also is against taking up the sword of the hand. And in regards to the story, I can't remember exactly where I got it from. Well, there's this story of a Roman soldier, and he became a Christian. So he's an officer. So what he did was take his sword and cast it into the ground and says, I won't fight anymore, I'm a Christian. Now, the story goes that he was then killed. But that, of course, that's not the only story where you see, Romans actually converting. But anyway, and getting into trouble. But yeah, do you see the apostles going out and killing people? Well, you might say, well, in regards of Paulus, well, I don't really like Paulus much, but that was before his so-called eligible, conversion and all that. I have my doubts on that, but anyway, the Roman Pharisee, we are warned by wolves in sheep clothing, and we are warned that Satan would sow the poisonous darnel, and we are warned about wolves in sheep clothing that, if possible, could deceive the elect. And every time you see lawlessness, everybody runs to Paulus and not Jesus, okay? Anyway, but besides that, all the apostles, went out in the world to spread the good news to the nations of the world. And you just look at the end of Matthew, the command is to go out in all the nations of the world and tell them and make disciples and teach them everything that I've taught you and so forward. And as far as I know, 11 of the 12 was martyred. Now, of course, there might be some regards of, but 11 of the 12 is said to have been martyred, die. And there's different stories in regards to of how they died. One is said to have been pierced in regards of that's in regards of Thomas, for example. You have, who was it that is said to have gone to Egypt? He was dragged behind a horse or something like that until he died. Different ways of where they were killed as in regards of martyr death. The only one that survived without becoming a martyr, not with dying a natural death, as far as I know, was John, in regards of John the apostle. So being in Asia Minor and so forward, he was the only one, as far as I know, that died of old age. The rest died for the word of God. So and spreading the good news by the mouth. They didn't go out and slaughter people, and they didn't go out and, they just told the truth, and then, and some had ears to hear and some did not. But anyway, so this guy, which, they present him, and apparently he's educated as at a Catholic place, already there is ringing bells, right? Ding, 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 ding. Oh, education as a Catholic, a Catholic, I think it was a Catholic university or something like that. I'm not sure about the other guy that, they have like 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. So, let's see. Let's see if they have this Catholic, that would already, ring bells in regards to the introduction, in regards to the Catholic thing. But anyway, he comes up and he begins in regards of Martin Luther and all that. Well, I know in regards of some of the research that I've done in regards of Martin Luther, and one of the books that I read, that was actually in regards of songs, in regards of Martin Luther's songs. And there was some information as well on that. The thing is, there was Protestants that ended up taking part in the war of, I guess it must have been the German emperor, in regards of going to war for the German emperor against the Turks. But the thing is, the information was told that what they did was to put the Protestant in the front and let them be slaughtered. Now, of course, there wouldn't be a surprise because it seems to actually have been, done other times. We have, what is he called? I can't remember who. He's still alive and all that. He talks about that they did the same thing. Now he doesn't mention the thing in regards of the information that I've read in regards of the Protestants from the times of Martin Luther and all that they were put in front and all that and just made to slaughter. So yeah. So these Protestants took up the sword of the hand, and what did the powers to be do? Well, they let them be slaughtered, but as far as I understand it, from another source, this has actually been done in the Second World War as well. And for example, in regards of setting Protestant, in regards of, what's it called, the Normandy thing, in regards of that I haven't, done deeper research from this. and I can't remember the guy that provides the information, but Eric Phelps. Eric Phelps. He talks about that they put Protestants in the front line. Apparently the soldiers have this tag. Protestant, Catholic, or Jew, or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not a U.S. But apparently, according to him, if I remember correctly, they put Protestants in the front. So when they got on Normandy, a huge amount of Protestants were slaughtered. That took up the sword of the hand. Then we see Hitler in regards of the Russian thing. Where there's a lot of people being slaughtered there. So, you see, this is like an inquisition in disguise of war. It's very clever. And of course, the Jesuits are very clever. Satan is very deceptive and very clever. And if you can disguise inquisition, in regards of disguising it in a war thing and all that, yeah. I guess that's a pretty clever thing to do. It's, diabolical and all that, but, that people can see there's an inquisition going on, that's very clever, right? Anyway, so, and probably you could find a lot of other places in regards of these persecutions of, so, and apparently Luther seemed to have, that was in regards, I can't remember all the detail, but he seems to have supported it in some way. So, the Anabaptists was the ones that really got closest to Jesus, and they were persecuted by both, Roman Catholics and Protestants. The Calvinists, as I understand it, persecuted them. The Zwinglies persecuted them. The Lutherans persecuted them. And of course, the Roman Catholics persecuted them. Even the Protestants even persecuted them, even if the Anabaptists, the Amish, the Mennonites, the Hutterites, and, pretty much called themselves brethren, but they were called Anabaptists by their enemies. In regards to rebaptizers and all that, but I really don't understand how Protestants could be so, go against other Protestants. They should just be happy that these so-called radicals, and extremists and whatever they call them, that they actually took the step, further, And but no, they got persecuted from pretty much every direction, and had to move from one place to another place and so forward and all that. But they seem to be, in regards to the Second World War, that's the only, the only Christian groups that seem to have done the right, thing in regards of not taking up the sword of the hand. It isn't stupid that Protestants go to war against other Protestants. Yeah, I'm sure Rome has a great festival. Hey, you say all day the Christians are going to war with other Christians. The Protestants are going to war with other Protestants. Yay, they're killing each other. Yippee yippee yay. The Antichrist would be celebrating. And the devil as well. Have to be kidding me. So this is yeah. But he's trying to go back to Luther, now this guy that has been apparently educated some Catholic place and all that. Already there, bells should be ringing. Catholic place, ding, 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 ding. Well, one should be on the toes, right, at that point. Anyway, I've only seen like 16, nearly 17 minutes of this, and it's interesting, one of the arguments that came from one of the other guys, that's against taking up the sword of the hand. And he says, think about it. If you had 6 apostles in the north, in regards to the U.S., you have the north and the south, and you had 6 apostles in the south, what do you think they would say? Do you think they would take up the sword of the hand and go to war against each other? Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So yeah, that's I guess that's pretty much so it from me. We're not called to take up the sword of the hand and kill people. We are to go out and give people headaches, if anything, but not to chop their head off or anything like that. That's the Mohammedans, and in regards of chop chop and the chop chop religion, and of course the burning religion. That's the Roman Catholics, and of course, so the Swinglies were drowning the Anabaptists and so forward. So of course, the Anabaptists still, and seemingly they have their own issues and all that. But in regards of, I think they came the closest to following Christ, and I have no idea why any Protestant would persecute them for just being more so-called radical or extreme. Yeah. Anyway, that's itching, itching, itching. Why is it itching? That's interesting. Anyway, have a weird. I was just taking my another dose of diflucan and all that. I was eating some spinach. That should be low on sugars. Well, I do wonder if it's the spinach that makes me now itch here down here. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm still on my antifungal thing and all that, and hope for the best still. I'm halfway done with the diflucan now, so it's yeah. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it will, hopefully I will see some pretty good improvement. But anyway, that's all for me. From me, still doing other antifungals like the berberine and the geranium and all that to yeah. It's itching on this. Yeah, I don't know why it's itching in my joint here. Doesn't seem to be a kind of a. Oh well. Anyway, so in regards to war, no, I don't think we should take up the sword of the hand. We're called to go out and spread the good news, not to go out and kill people. Anyway, maybe I should go down and it would be nice with, with some meat. Anyway, have a good one, all of you. That's all. May Jehovah be with you, and Yeshua be a most precious pearl, and the spirit of truth be in us all. Amen. Have a good one.